Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports, Stare Down Greatness. Today is a Thursday. We are officially 58 days until Week 0, 70 days until NFL Week 1. Man, it's about here. So without any further ado today, it's going to be a very, very simple day. A little bit of NFL news to talk about. Then we got AFC South Part 2. We're going over the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. We started off with the Colts and Titans earlier this week, and we're going to finish this week with, and by earlier this week, I mean literally yesterday. And we're going to finish it with the Jaguars and Texans. Like I said, we're going to start off with some NFL news first, though, because there's 2 or 3 things I want to talk about real quick before we hop in. First one being they extended, I think, the GM for the Bucs and Todd Bowles. Yep, GM Jason Litch and Todd Bowles are getting extensions. They didn't disclose details, but both are multi-year deals, so we're going to probably hear about that in the near future. Not too shocking. Ever since they had Brady, they got Brady, won a Super Bowl, he retired. They've been really, really good since. They were okay the first couple of years before Brady got there, and then they've been really good since. And ever since they had Baker, this has been a really solid team. Obviously they haven't been fully Super Bowl contending team, but solid team enough to where I don't blame them at all for keeping their guys there. So the Bengals reached a $470 million deal with the city to renovate Paycor Stadium. So it's going to keep the team there for at least 11 more years. Some of the agreement was agreed on Thursday. Preliminary agreement was agreed on Thursday. The final approval, it still has to come. They have until June 30th to agree to a new lease or approve the first of 5 2-year extensions. But they've agreed to extend. Okay, so now it's they've agreed to extend the deadline already. So yeah, pretty much it. So the $470 million plan to renovate the Bengals stadium is far less than originally. It was apparently $830, and now it's only $430 million. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Hopefully this means they're paying Trey Hendrickson, because the county's contributing $350 million and the Bengals are only paying $120 million. But the fact that originally they had $800 million and then they cut that by half. If they cut it by a quarter, I could see it okay, they're probably removing, this, a nice thing from this section here, something from this section there, potentially. Taking off that much money has me kind of wondering, okay, so what changed that much? They went from 4. What is that? 4, almost, it's $360 million, something like that. Makes you really, really wonder. It's man, what? It costs basically almost half, half that money that they're able to take off, but regardless, they've been in Paycor since 2000, and they're going to keep staying there as of right now. Originally, it was called Paul Brown Stadium, but they sold the naming rights in 2022, which started one of the many things with the Bengals where it's okay, the Bengals are changing a little bit, because then they started to pay Joe Burrow. They got an indoor stadium, or indoor practice field and all that. But then even this year, they paid Jamar Chase, paid T. Higgins, but now we're starting to get a little bit of that same old Bengals with the Trey Hendrickson situation, but like I said, there's still some time, so we're going to see what comes to that, but it's not looking the best still. And the Seahawks are bringing in veteran Shaquille Griffin. I don't know if they announced the deal yet, but he, Vikings. I was trying to see, who did he play for last year? He played for the Vikings after spending some time with the Texans and the Panthers the year before. But his career started in Seattle from 2017 to 2020, so a little hiatus. Now he's coming back. But that's all I got for that. I was trying to think if there's anything else to add, but not really there. And then I think the last thing to pretty much talk about is Rodgers pretty much talking to Pat McAfee show that pretty sure he'll retire after 2025. He said this on the Pat McAfee show. I'm pretty sure this is it. That's why we just did a 1-year deal. The Steelers don't need to put any extra years on or anything like that. That was really about finishing up with a lot of love and fun and peace for the career that I've had. What better place to finish than one of the greatest cornerstone franchises in the NFL with head coach Mike Tomlin, a great group of leadership and great guys. Now, I would not be shocked if he comes back for one more season, but if it's not this season, next season is probably going to be the end for him. So, yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to keep an eye on those Steelers now with him being there. And like I said, it being his last season now, so I was okay. Going to have to be, going to be interesting. That's the best way to put it. Going to be interesting to see what happens with Aaron Rodgers now that we don't know officially, but it's kind of sounding like, yeah, it's going to be his last year. Final thing to talk about, it bleeds in with the Jaguars, who will be the team we talk about next. Two-way star Travis Hunter, 4-year, $46 million contract he signed with as the second overall pick. $30 million in signing bonus. That's a lot of money, man. I'm assuming that's what it is for. Apparently, he was one of 3 unsigned first-round picks with Shamar Stewart and Jahdae Barron being the only 2 left. I haven't heard anything about Jahdae Barron, but we will be doing probably doing the AFC West 2 weeks from now, so I won't be shocked if we get a little bit more information before then, so I'm not going to speculate on that too much. And then with the Shamar Stewart situation, we know what's happening with him. Bengals are being the Bengals, trying to put a clause in his contract, so we're going to have to see what comes of that situation. But yeah, Jackson, that's a lot of money. Man, that's a lot of money for never playing a snap. But hey, there's a reason he's the 2nd overall pick. And with that being said, that pretty much blends in perfectly to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who last year, as we talked about, horrid year for the Jags. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but I did say on this show, I think last year I said that, well, mighty, the Texans definitely surprised, not Texans, excuse me, Titans really surprised me by trying to be 1 game worse than the Jags. But I said it on my show last year where it's like, hey, people are really high on this Jacksonville. That's like, I just don't see it. And it's mainly because I've watched this team for how many years now? So many. But it's one of those things where it's like, when you watch your division really well, and it goes for almost any sport, you have a really idea, like, I don't want to say full inside information, but you have a pretty good lean on, like, how that team's going to be. And like I said, that was one of those things where I'm looking at the Jags last year, and I was just like, man, I just don't see it. Like, I thought they were going to still win, like, around, like, 5-6 games or around that. They went 4-13. Like, it really bottomed out for them. And I know Trevor Lawrence dealt with an injury as well, but it got to a really bad point. So, coming to this season now, they do have some coaching changes. Liam Cohen is going to serve as the head coach. They also finished, so with him being now new head coach, Grant Uditsky's the offensive coordinator. Anthony Campanelli, I'm assuming. That's how I said it. He's a new defensive coordinator. Heath Farwell, or Fairwell, however you want to say it, was, or however it is said. I guess there's not a choice in somebody's name. Now he's going to be the special teams coordinator. Or he's retained, sorry. So he doesn't change. So that's one of the few things that did not change. Offensive line coach changed. They brought in Sean Sarrett. Man, I'm horrible with names. Chad Morton, they brought in as running back coach. Derek LeBlanc was brought in as defensive line coach. Kevin Wilkins was hired as an assistant linebackers coach and then defensive coach. They hired Drew Lasarsi. But yeah, I mean, we're talking basically a whole staff change. Balky as GM is out too. I can't remember who the Jaguars GM is now, but pretty much I think that's a part of the reason why Liam Cohen joined the job was because of the new GM. Sorry, I dropped something. But yeah, I think, who's the new GM? It is, waiting for it to load so I get his name. James Gladstone, that's who it was. Yeah, he comes over from the Rams. And I'm not going to lie to you. This is one of the situations where I really wanted to bash on Liam Cohen. Really want to bash on Gladstone, but I won't lie to you. I've heard a lot of decent stuff about Gladstone, and from the couple interviews I've seen from Liam Cohen, I hate to say it, but I kind of like the guy. He's a bit quirky, but I do think I really like the guy. Even after that whole after that whole situation, it's still like, I think I kind of like that guy. And I think what really sold me on it was his interview with the Pat McAfee show, because you got to see him be a little bit more loose. So seeing that interview, it kind of made me sit back and realize, like, damn, so this is actually he seems like a pretty cool coach to play for. Damn! Now I might actually like the Jacksonville Jaguars a little bit more. But still not fully sold yet, but like I said, I personally, like, coaching-wise, I don't know how he's going to do, but at least, like, being a head coach, being a person that is a head coach, I definitely do like him at that point. Now, how will he do for the job? I don't know what to see, but when it comes to his roster, he has a pretty decent roster. And this is where it's going to be interesting. I can't wait to read out this too deep. Trevor Lawrence is your quarterback. Obviously, I'm assuming he's going to be good to go to start the season. Not 100%. I'm pretty sure. I don't even think that's a maybe. I think he should be good. If not, you got Nick Mullins or John Wolford who will probably be starting. Running back-wise, you got Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby, Byshal Tootin, who they brought in from Virginia Tech. Wide receiver-wise, you got Brian Thomas, Travis Hunter, Diami Brown, Parker Washington, Joshua Cephas, Tyler Wise, Brenton Strain, Johnny Munt, Hunter Long. Offensive line-wise, I think they brought in Ezra Cleveland this year. If not, they brought him in last year. I can't fully remember. But offensive line-wise, we're going to need a lot out of these boys because it's been a rough... They haven't been horrible, but by far... I think they might have been... I don't want to say they've been top... I mean, somewhere in around... If they aren't top 10, they're probably around like 12, 13. If not, I think like 17, 18, one of those range where it's like... They aren't the worst offensive line in the world, but one of the things was like, yeah, I mean, would be cool if it was a little bit better. But defensively, then Josh Hines-Allen, Devon Hamilton, Eric Armstead, Trevon. I think yeah. I don't know why I said Travion. Travon Walker, Foyce Oluokun, Devin Lloyd, Ventrell Miller, Jerrion Jones, Eric Murray, Darnell Savage, Tyson Campbell, and Jordan Lewis will be your starters. Something of note though, in the quarterback position. I'm pretty sure it's just outside. Yeah, I don't think it's like the nickelback or anything like that. I don't think it's slot corner either. But I'm not 100% sure. But Travis Hunter, second on the depth chart. So that's one where it's like, I wonder if he. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's on the outside. I don't think they're going to move him on the inside at all. But one of those things where it's like, not going to lie to you, I do think this roster has had a bit of an upgrade. But I think the biggest thing for me, I just don't think I'm sold on Trevor Lawrence being the guy. Now that Liam Cohen's in, I mean, they did pay Trevor Lawrence. Liam Cohen is new. This isn't like a Russell Wilson, Sean Payton situation where it's very clear like, oh yeah, if this doesn't go well, it's Sean Payton's team. I really don't know. If it doesn't go well for 2 or 3 seasons, I would assume they'd move on from Trevor Lawrence just because he's been there a little bit longer. And he's technically not Liam Cohen or James Gladstone's guys, but I really don't know. That's a situation where if this team does fall short of expectations, I don't know who'd be the first to go, but I think this team will have a bit of an upgrade from last year. I definitely don't think they're going to win only 4 games this year. I do think it's going to be a bit more than that. Now, will it be a lot more than that? I don't think so, per se, but we'll see. They start off home versus the Panthers, away versus the Bengals, go back home for the Texans, away for the 49ers. The 3-game home stand where they home for Kansas City, home for Seattle, and then I guess actually the Rams is a neutral type game, so they're going overseas. Can't remember where at exactly. Week 8 bye. Yikes, that is not too good. Then away for the Raiders, away for the Texans, back home for Chargers, away for Cardinals, away for Titans, home for Colts, home versus Jets, away for Broncos, away for Colts, and then they're home versus the Titans to end the season. They've beaten the Colts every single time in Jacksonville for now almost 10 to 12 years going, so I'm just going to give them that as a win just because the Colts haven't proven it. I actually don't know. I think their over-unders around like 5 or 6 games. I'm about to check that because I won't lie to you. When it comes to these 2 teams, I'm kind of on the fence with most of the futures, but I'm basically going to talk them out on here, and it'll be my final decision of if I'm going to place them or not. Because, won't lie to you, I was pretty much going through them. It's like, I like it, but I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know. So I'm pretty much going to put myself on the spot now where it's like, hey, if you really, really like it, it'll stand out a little bit more. If not, you're just going to probably end up giving that thing away and just letting it be lost to the wind. But, yeah, win total-wise, I mean, I definitely think that schedule is going to be a lot better. I think the schedule is by far more doable. It just totally comes down to quarterback play. Like a lot of these teams, especially with how inconsistent Trevor Lawrence has been at points, like it truly, truly comes down to quarterback play. Win total-wise, I think I would lean the under just because I don't know how inflated it is, though. I won't lie to you. I can't totally remember. 7.5 wins over-under. I actually think that is the perfect line because I have them as probably a 7-win team. So I'm actually going to take the under here. So it's the Jaguars under 7.5 wins. That is -110. I mean, it's literally both ways. Yeah, and like I said, it really just comes down to, I do think there's going to be an upgrade, but I just see this as like a 7-10, 8-9 team. Maybe if everything goes right for them, 9-8. I think they're, especially with Liam Cohen being new there, I think it's another team where I just think that, I don't know, like I said, I just don't fully trust in Trevor Lawrence, so that's why I look at their over-under and see it at 7.5. It's like, oh, I lean the under there. Now, if it was like 8 or 9, I'd be all over it. I mean, yeah, because like over 9.5 wins, that's, I guess, yeah, over, so for 8 wins, it's -110. For 10 wins, you're adding 2 extra wins, plus 260. So that's not the craziest jump, but it's enough a jump where you look at it and be like, yeah, so truly they're around, this 8-9 win team is truly how the books see this, which kind of fits with me because I think that I'm more of the 7-8 range than the 8-9 range, but I mean, you look at their schedule, I mean, they're definitely, like, they could definitely beat the Panthers. Bengals are probably going to be a struggle. They could probably beat the Texans. Split a game with them. 49ers, not too sure about. Probably don't beat the Chiefs. Maybe can beat Seattle. I don't think they'll beat the Rams. And then you got teams like the Chargers come back. I don't know about them. Raiders, I think they have a shot. Cardinals, I think they have a shot. Tennessee, obviously they have a shot. Obviously they have a shot against the Colts. They win a game against them every year, damn near. I think guaranteed, actually. Sometimes even twice. Jets, I think is doable. Like, there's in Denver, I don't think so, but I wouldn't be shocked if they won. Like, there's a lot of games in their schedule. I mean, like, their heaviest hitters are Chargers, Chiefs. I mean, they get 49ers, Texans, Bengals. I mean, past that, I wouldn't call the Rams a heavy hitter per se. I think they're a good team, great team potentially even, but I don't say heavy hitter. So, I mean, you look at the schedule, it's definitely a little bit more forgiving. So, but I just, like I said, not fully sold on Trevor Lawrence, and now he's coming off injury, so I wonder how long it's going to take him to fully get into it, especially coming off the shoulder injury. I mean, I just remembered a hit he took two where he just got absolutely blasted by Al-Shaair, who got suspended for the Texans. So it's going to be a thing. Can the offensive line protect him? Can Trevor Lawrence step up a little bit? Like I said, if I had to bet, I'm going to probably bet the under for this team just because of the fact I don't trust them fully. To make the playoffs, by the way, I didn't talk about that, I guess, for the Colts. The Colts to make the playoffs are plus 186. Don't mind that bet at all. For the Jaguars to make the playoffs, it's plus 180. So they're in the very similar boat. If you like them to make the playoffs, I mean, like I said, I think they're going to go 9-8. 9-8 might make the playoffs, but with how strong the AFC seems like it's starting to get, especially at the top. The top, it's really, really good. I just don't know. The Jaguars missed the playoffs, minus 225. The Colts are minus 235. Yeah, a little bit too much juice there. We already talked about their wins. Future specials, we'll talk about a couple of these just because I know Travis Hunter is in a few of these. One of them are the Titans win more than 5. Oh, that's Titans. Sorry, we did that yesterday. I don't know why I just said what I said. And then, let me read about the Titans. But, yeah, I thought there was a Travis Hunter one. Maybe that's under the rookie section. Sorry, like I said, I thought I had some of this pulled up. If you want them to win the division, the Jaguars win the division are plus 300. That was a little bit, I think both them and the Colts have just kind of dropped, and the Texans have gained a little bit. I can't totally remember, but Colts are only plus 310, so I mean, it's, like I said, for finishing order for this division too, I'm basically, it's Texans 1, Jaguars 2, Colts 3, Colts 1, Texans 2, Jaguars 3, or I got Texans 1, Colts 2, Jaguars 3. Regardless, I feel pretty decent about Texans being 1. Colts and Jaguars wouldn't be shocked if they flip for 2 or 3 right there. But, I mean, we've already talked about how I feel about him. Travis Hunter to record 1,000 regular season receiving yards is plus 230. Him to record 75-plus regular season receptions and 2+ interceptions is plus 250. Travis Hunter scored 10-plus touchdowns combined is plus 700. That's something I actually, you know what, we're going to take that right now. I had it on my list. I mean, do we want to take it? I think we might, because it's like we haven't taken a big odd one in this division yet. It's plus 700. I'll probably jump on that, honestly. It's not horrible, but I mean, 10 touchdowns is a good amount. But I mean, with him and Brian Thomas, my fear is Brian Thomas might take some stuff. I mean, obviously there's the rushing attack. Evan Ingram isn't there anymore, so they don't have to worry about that. But in the season debut, Travis Hunter scored a touchdown and get an interception is plus 1,600. That's just something where it's we'll keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that one, because that's one where it's like, if week 1 gets a little bit closer by, if I have a decent amount of money, I might sprinkle on it just for some fun. Because, I mean, they played the Panthers week 1. It is not out of the realm of possibilities Bryce Young throws an interception in his season debut. Or in the season debut, not his season debut. Travis Hunter scored 5+ regular season offensive touchdowns and 1+ regular season defensive touchdowns is plus 1,200. That's another one of those ones where it's a maybe for me. I don't think I'll take it, but I think Travis Hunter truly can be a special athlete. It's just a matter of can he stay healthy. And like I said, for that one, it's plus 1,200 for those odds. I wish the odds were a little bit higher for that, so I don't know if I'm going to be hopping on that. And this one, Travis Hunter to have 750+ regular season receiving yards and 5+ interceptions. Like, I'm good on that one. Well, even if he gets it, I think 5 interceptions is not out of the world of possibilities for him. That's too much for me. And like I said, it's only plus 1,700. I would like those odds to be in the plus 2,000s. If you like Travis Hunter to be Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's plus 900. For Defensive Rookie of the Year, he's plus 1,000. So, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a good chance that he could do that. And, hey, if you want to do it, Travis Hunter to win either Offensive Rookie of the Year or Defensive Rookie of the Year is plus 450. 8,000 for him to win both. I don't mind that plus 450 odds, because I do think there's a chance that he wins one of the two, but I'm just, like I said, I don't need to just dump all my money into a team that I think is going to be about a 7 or 8 win team, so probably going to hold off just a bit, but don't be shocked if you hear those coming back up later in the offseason, because there is a good chance they just might. His over-under receiving yards on the season is 750. I do think that's another one I'm going to write in red, but I kind of do like that. But like I said, that's one where, like I said, I really do like that over-under, but I'm going to wait till a little bit closer to the season just to hear, like, that's one where it's like I might risk them adding like 20, 30 yards to it, but I want to wait till a little bit closer to the season and be like, all right, he's going to be playing a lot of heavy offense at first, and then we're going to start playing him both ways with him getting in on defense, or it's going to be flipped where, we're still on the depth chart right now. He's mainly a wide receiver, but it comes to the point where, say, in training camp, like, they really, really do enjoy their receivers. Like, hey, Travis, we need you at actually corner instead. So that's why I truly want to hold off on that just for a little bit. Just want to wait a tiny bit longer to see, like, fully, like, all right, is he going to play both ways? Is he mainly on offense playing some defense? Or vice versa? Jaguars to win the division, win the conference is 34-1, if you're interested in that. Yeah, I don't think I'll be taking that. I just want to leave it out there. We talked about rookies of the year and all that. I don't think there's any Jaguars player I want to take for any of these. Liam Cohen for Coach of the Year at plus 1,000. Don't think it's a horrible idea. I personally like Vrabel at plus 750 because I think regardless it's going to be a way better team. But we're going to have to hold off on that just for now. Like I said, Mike Vrabel plus 750 is my lane, but I don't think Liam Cohen at plus 1,000 is horrible at all. Comeback Player of the Year, Trevor Lawrence is at plus 450. That one potentially might be keeping an eye on. If Christian McCaffrey can stay healthy, that's going to be my pick for that. Oh, man, I think they added some more sections because now we got, like, season leaders, which they didn't have before, passing touchdowns, receiving yards, rushing yards. Brian Thomas Jr. at 11-1 for the most receiving yards. I don't mind at all, but I like that. That's another one where it's like I don't want to put too much on Trevor Lawrence. I'm putting too much faith in Trevor Lawrence already with some of these futures, so going to hold off just there. Trevor Lawrence's passing yards over-unders at 3,700. That's one where I'm not going to lie to you. I just don't have any interest in it at all. But for the sake of the show, I'm at least going to read out what he's done the last few years. Last year he had 2,400. Year before that, 4,000. Year before that, 4,000. Year before that, 3,600. Mind you, he only played in 10 games last year, started all 10. When he played 16, he had 4,000. When he played 17 the other 2 years, it was 4,100 and 3,600. So I think that's a good number at 3,700. But like I said, I'm not interested in it. Oh, wait, no, never mind. They've had this up. Passing touchdown wise, 22.5. Let's see, for his career, that's another one actually. Touchdown, 12, 25, 21, 11, going back to 2021. So basically he hits it. He didn't hit it, didn't hit it last year. I mean, he was 11-7 last year. That's pretty bad. 21 and 14 interception, 25 and 8. So, I mean, I'm good. That's just too close. That's not one where I feel like we can take advantage of the books. Rushing prop-wise, I'm probably going to stay away just for the fact that I don't even think they have up Travis. Yeah, they don't even have Travis Etienne's rushing stats up because I truly think there's a chance that, like, I wouldn't be shocked to see a little bit of Byshall Tootin. Wouldn't be shocked to see a little bit of Tank Bigsby. That might be a running back room where we see a good amount of movement. And the last person I really want to talk about, because I don't think the Jags have any team specials that I really want to go over with you guys. They do not. So the last thing we're going to talk about is Brian Thomas and his receiving over. Receiving over and receiving touchdowns. We're going to talk about that. So last year, Brian Thomas, 10 touchdowns. He had 1,200 receiving yards on 87 receptions off 133 targets. So if we're looking at his numbers now, receiving-wise, Brian Thomas Jr. is 1,150 is his receiving. So basically it's like 130 less than what he got last year. Ooh, I don't think that's too bad, especially with Trevor Lawrence coming back. But I don't think I want to take that one. Touchdown-wise, I'm a little bit more interested. Travis Hunter, over-unders at 4.5 minus 122. I think if you just want to take it, instead of taking that one bet that was plus 1,200 with him to have 5 touchdowns on O, 1 on D, I definitely do think over 4.5 is doable, so I'm probably going to actually take that. And then let me see what Brian Thomas Jr. is. He's at 8, so I think, that's a good number. So it's one of those situations, won't lie to you. I'm going to write down both of these dudes, but I'm probably going to, it's going to be one or the other when it comes down to it. If I had to pick, I'm probably just going to pick Travis Hunter because that number is just so low. Like 4.5 is just, that feels a little bit low. Travis Hunter feels like a guy who can easily get like 6, 7, 8 touchdowns. Like, I think easily 7, 8. Like, I don't even know why I said 6. I think he could probably easily get 7, 8 with the talent and everything, especially with a lot of focus on. Just going to basically come down to, do they focus more on Brian Thomas or more on Travis Hunter? But that's something I'm leaning towards. But that's probably going to do it for that's going to do it for the Jaguars. So my official futures I'm going to take their under at 7.5 wins because, like I said, I'm projecting them for about, at best, 9 wins. But I really do think that 7.5 is going to be... I think they're probably going to end up finishing with 7 wins. So that's one where, hey, that hook ain't going to be a motherfucker. That hook going to be on our side for once, taking us to dinner, giving us some nice steaks. So I like like I said, the Jaguars under 7.5 wins. I like Travis Hunter to have 10-plus touchdowns combined at plus 700. And I really like Travis Hunter to have over 4.5 receiving touchdowns. One I'm kind of iffy on is Brian Thomas over 7.5 receiving touchdowns at minus 102. That's one I'm a bit iffy on, but probably not in the slip. And then Hunter to have 7 over 750 receiving yards is minus 114. I like it, but I'm not fully sold on it. So the main ones are Travis Hunter over 4.5 touchdowns. I do really like that one. Over 4.5 touchdowns, Travis Hunter to have 10-plus touchdowns combined at plus 700. And then I like for they're under 7.5 wins for the Jaguars. So that does it for the Jaguars, people. That leaves us just with one more team in the AFC South, and it's the champs from last year, a team who really bottomed out to end of the season, but was able to kind of fix it to end the season, was the Houston Texans. If we look back at their 2024 real quick, like I said, they had a 10-7 season where it truly came down to the... I mean, I won't lie to you. The Colts absolutely just fell off a cliff to end the season with 2 of their horrendous losses, but there's a chance where the Colts might have just stole that from them. Might have just been able to do it, but like I said, they ended up not doing it. I mean, I think what really the Texans' downfall started on Christmas when they got boat raced. I'm talking, or I guess Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, yeah. 31-2 loss to the Ravens. And that's kind of where you saw that. That's because that was like their first test where it's like, all right, playoff times are almost coming. Let's see how they play. And it's like, oh, they look fucking horrible. And then they end up beating the Titans. And then the wild card round, they bounced back and they looked so much better against the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers just did not look ready at all. And then they played the Chiefs where it's like, I won't lie to you. Most of that game, you're sitting there wondering like, damn, the Texans are actually about to do it. The Texans are actually about to do it, and then the Chiefs pulled a rabbit out of their hat. I think they ended up covering even, which is even crazier to think about. But don't let that score, 27-19, change your mind. The Texans had a really, really good shot at winning that game. It just came down to they couldn't score in the second half. And then, so they ended up losing there. But coaching change-wise, I don't think there was any coaching changes at all on this team. I guess the only one was really Bobby Slowick was moved on from. They hired Nick Caley to be the new offensive coordinator. They have a new assistant defensive line coach, new pass game coordinator, new offensive line coach. But other than that, everything else pretty much, stayed the same. Everyone, there was not too many changes. Biggest change, like I said, offensive coordinator, which is just a crazy story to think about, how Bobby Slowick went from one of the hottest names in football to last year, just horrible year, shit canned. And it's just, wow. Just how crazy. It goes to show you how quickly life can change the NFL. But if you also look at it, too, there was some stuff I heard about Bobby Slowick where he had a certain scheme that he liked, and they got rid of a couple of players on the roster that fit that scheme, so then he had to kind of adjust it a little bit, and it just didn't work out, so it became a fit issue. But besides that, it also makes sense why they have a new offensive line coach, because when we get talk about the offensive line, I mean, this is literally a whole new group. It's basically all 5 are out. Coaches out. Offensive line was horrible. I'm pretty sure this was the 3rd worst offensive line in the league last year. Wasn't kidding. So they have a whole new offensive line in. So we're going to go over the roster. C.J. Stroud's their starting quarterback. Davis Mills still backing up. Then you got Graham Mertz as the 3rd string. Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb will be your 1-2 combo. Joe Mixon being the leader in the house. Damian Pierce behind them along with Woody Marks. Wouldn't be shocked if Woody Marks ends up getting a little bit more than Damian Pierce. And Damian Pierce basically becomes just a special teams only player. Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, John Mechie are wide receivers. They do have Tank Dell as a question mark there, still as a starter. I don't know if that dude's going to play football again. With how I assume he will try to, but with 2 scary back-to-back leg injuries like that, I just don't know where he's at football-wise. Even mentally, I just don't know where he's at thinking about playing. They got Jacob Johnson, the fullback, and then like I said, they have Cam Robinson, Lincoln Tomlinson, Jake Andrews, Titus Howard, Blake Fisher. Whole new offensive line group to go along with the whole new offensive line coach, because like I said, last year was not good for them. And defensively, this is where you get some nice names. Will Anderson Jr., Tim Settle Jr., Falonzo Fakutasi, Fatukasi. I messed up. Fakutasi. I flipped the K and the T. For Larunso, Fatukasi. There we go. Daniil Hunter, Henry Toyoto. Toyo. Sorry. God damn it. I had it almost. Aziz Al-Shaair, EJ Speed, Derek Stingley, Kalen Bullock, CJ Gardner-Johnson, Kamari Lassiter, and Jalen Petrie round out your starters. Man, their linebackers are pretty thin because they have EJ Speed as the backup for the Will, and he's the starting. Oh, maybe actually. Yeah, I don't know what that depth chart. They're probably going to add someone. So they're still probably fixing some stuff up. But now if we go to their schedule, I think their schedule's a little bit harder. That's a wee bit harder. The Rams, they go away to the Rams, home for the Tampa Bay, away for the Jags, home for the Titans, away for the Ravens. Week 6 buys. This is actually a brutal buy for the Texans because they basically get week. So starting from week 7, they are not done till they don't quit playing till the season's over, and that is rough. You got away for Seattle after the bye, back home for San Francisco. Week 8, week 9, you travel to Denver. Then you're back home. Let me rephrase that just because I messed up a little bit. So starting week 8, they get a nice little 3-game homestand where it's home for San Francisco, also home for Denver, also home for Jacksonville, travel to play Tennessee, back home for Buffalo, 2-game road trip to take on the Colts and the Chiefs, back home for 2 games against the Cardinals, the Raiders, away game versus the Chargers, and then the Texans, Colts end their season week 18. Very good chance that could be for the division if it falls out like it has been the last couple seasons. So that just makes that game even that much more exciting. But when it comes to the Texans, I think they're going to be, if I had to guess, they probably will win the division this year again. It just seems like CJ Stroud gets better. As the season went on last year, he got a little bit better and even better than he was last season. So it's like, man, is he just going to keep improving, keep doing good? But this is a Texans team that likes it. I think the Colts truly do have a shot to win the division, but I don't think it's going to be because like the Texans give them the division like they did last year. I think this year is going to be more of a they have to really earn that division. If you want the Texans to win the Super Bowl, you got 25-1 odds there. Won't lie, your boy won't be facing that. For the Texans to make the playoffs, minus 148. I feel like there's even if they get second in the division, there's a good chance that the Texans make the playoff. So, you know what? I'm gonna take that as a future, but I won't lie to you. This is something I definitely don't recommend, and I don't know if you can do it. It's minus 148. The odds are so. I'm gonna throw that with something. That's gonna be something where it's like, won't lie to you. Maybe it's like Travis Hunter over 4.5 touchdowns, where it's like the minus 122. Not the biggest fan of that. Let me boost that a little bit with this Texans to make the playoff ticket. But like I said, I don't even know if you can combine that with stuff. You can. Okay, sweet. So that'd be something like I said I might think about combining. I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs, but if you at least want to see those odds, plus 120 for them to miss the playoffs, I don't think they will, but it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. I mean, O-line chemistry. For this team, it's O-line chemistry. Like a lot of teams, like we know what their quarterback is. CJ Stroud's going to be good. Defensively, they're going to play solid defense with the defensive guys they got. It comes down to the offensive line. Can they truly protect CJ Stroud? Or is it going to be another year where he's basically just running for his life? Because last year was... I can't put it into words how bad the offensive line was last year for the Texans. If you look at it, their over-under win total is basically set at 9 wins. Over 9.5 wins is plus 105. Under 9 wins is minus 125. Being the Colts fan I want to take the under, but this is one where I'm straight up staying away. For the fact that we have to pick for the show, though, I'm going to pick under. This is just simply a pick. This is not a future or anything. I would not be shocked they went 10. Truly think they'll go 10-7 again like last year. Maybe 11-6. I don't think it'll be that good. But I do think the under 9.5 is in play. But like I said, this is not something I'm going to bet because I have them about at that range, and I think there's a good chance that they do win the division again. So it's like, I don't think I'm going to take the under on them. But I do, if I had to lean, I do lean the under. But that's just a straight up, like I said, straight up stay away from me. So I'm just not even going to worry about it. There's no really future specials with this team that are worth discussing because there's none at all. So for them to win their division, plus 110, don't mind that at all. I think that that's... I'm just trying to think if it will get worse. I don't know if it will get much worse during the season. Like, I mean, it might touch, like, the 2. Like, it might just tip into the 2s barely. But I think it's going to stay around the plus 100s, if not be negative for most of the season, especially if the Colts like truly struggle again, like they've shown. But right now, this is the Texans' division. Colts, everybody else has to steal it. And like I said, I do think some teams have a chance, like the Colts. I think Jags maybe, but man, those them Texans just a little too good, man. I gotta give them the respect, man. They definitely earned that respect from me. I don't think rookie-wise they have anything we want to take. If you think they're going to win the conference, they are 12-1 odds there. Personally, I don't think so. I'm not going to go that far, but I don't think the odds are horrible. But that schedule's tough. That schedule's tough. But, actually, if you think about it, Chiefs, 49ers, Bills, Chargers, there's 4 losses there probably. Baltimore, that's tough. Tampa Bay, it's a sneaky tough game. Like I said, their schedule isn't the hardest, but there are some games you look there, it's like I don't know. They could definitely give them a game. So yeah, I'm probably I'm going to stay away from that. MVP, I just want to give CJ Stroud 25-1. I'm not. No. Like I said, I don't think there's anything like offensive player-wise, defensive player of the year. Will Anderson 13-1. I'm good on that. Nico Collins offensive player of the year 1,400. I'm good, man. Most receiving yards in the season. Nico Collins at 8-1. I don't mind that at all. So that is something we are gonna potentially. That's something I probably will end up taking. Won't lie to you. Because it's Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, then Nico Collins next, then you have Malik Neighbors, Puka Nacua, but Nico Collins is by far one of their best receivers, and he is dominant, and they're gonna need a lot from him again. So I actually do not mind that at all for 8-1 odds, especially because you heard what I said. Like Tank Dell's gone. Let me pull up. I won't lie. I knew I shouldn't have done it, but I backed to other depth chart. But like I said, Tank Dell's probably gone. They have Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel. So they have some young guys that they truly do need to get. Like, don't get me wrong. CJ Stroud's obviously going to throw to some of these other guys. Like, he has to get some of these. Oh, by the way, I don't know why I was facing that way for so long. I'm just kind of talking like this. I just realized. I just caught myself sitting here like, why am I facing that way? Well, like I said, they do have 2 young guys like Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel that they're going to get built back in a little bit. They did bring over Justin Watson as well from the Chiefs, but you read that Dalton Schultz and Nico Collins are going to be in pace for getting a lot of targets. So that's something where we're probably going to have a decent amount of stuff on Nico Collins. Passing-wise, CJ Stroud. I guess if you want to know CJ Stroud for the most regular season passing touchdowns, he's way down there in the list. Shit. He's 3,100. I didn't realize it was that bad. Most passing yards, he's 13-1. I'm good on that. But his passing yards in general, he has over-unders at 38.25. I don't think I'm going to take that, but I am at least going to look at his passing touchdowns and his passing yards. Because, like I said, I won't lie, I can't remember off the top of my head. Last year, 3,700 and 4,100 the year before, 3,700 last year. But like I said, his offensive line was horrible last year, so I can kind of understand that. I don't like the number going up, so that's for sure. Stay away from me. Touchdown-wise, he threw for 23 2 seasons ago, 20 last year. 21.5. I do like that. I think we're going to write it in red because that's a maybe. That would probably be one. Like I said, we talked about it last week. The lost futures of the season, that's ones that might get pushed off to then. Because I won't lie to you. I immediately reading that number, it's like, I do really like that. I think that's awesome. But mainly because, like I said, the offense, I don't know what their offensive line is going to look like. If they can run the ball a little bit more, wouldn't be shocked if they give up some of those to give Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon some of those touchdowns. So that's something where it's like, I do like the number, but I want to hear a little bit more rumors about their offensive line and hear how it's actually progressing before I take an official number. Rushing wise, we'll go to aboard Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon over under 825 rushing yards. Even with Nick Chubb in there, there's no way it's the same Nick Chubb as we've seen before. So, I think that number is honestly a little bit too low. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. Mixon over 850. He's hit 1,000 the last 2 seasons. I don't want to, and his number is not even, I put it at 850. It's 825. I don't know if this is an overreaction to them signing Nick Chubb or what, but I just don't. I think they are going to lighten the load on Joe Mixon a bit, but I still think he's going to get a good amount of attempts. We're talking with last year at the Texans, he had 245 attempts. I mean, he's still, and then with the year before the Bengals, he had 257. So they took away 10 attempts. I could see him being more around I wouldn't be shocked if they took away like 50 attempts maybe, so he's still around the 200 range. I don't know if it's going to be that many, but regardless, though, I still don't think it's enough to take away that much rushing. So I do love that 825 number for him because, like I said, I know that Nick Chubb is there, but I do think there is really good chance that, yeah, he's not going to get as many carries as we're kind of thinking, and I think the number is a bit of an overreaction to it, just a slight bit. Do they not have Joe Mixon for rushing touchdowns? They don't. Now that's interesting. The fact they don't have Joe Mixon or Nick Chubb up, because I bet you, I really want to know what the number's at, because the last 2 seasons he had 9 with the Bengals before he got traded. Last year he had 11. So it's one of those things where if it's anything lower than, if it's over under 7.5 or lower, I'm going to jump all over that number. If it's 8.5, I'll probably hold off. That's kind of where I'm leaning at. But I do love that rushing number. And then receiving-wise, there's a really good chance that we're going to be taking some Nico Collins receiving stuff because, yeah, I don't even, 1150. Like, it's almost the thing where it's like, I just want to see what he did, but I almost don't even care about the number just because I don't know who else that, I mean, yeah, he had started 12 games last year, played only 12, and he had 1,000. I'm just going to take, basically, as long as he stays healthy, I love this number. So we are going to take this one as well. Yeah, 11 up 50. I love that number a lot, just mainly for the fact that he's going to be C.J. Stroud's main target. So as long as he's healthy, that's a number that I don't even think I'll be stressing about. But past that, I will be taking also probably his receiving touchdowns. His receiving touchdowns at 6.5. That feels really, really low. That's something where it's. We talked about that earlier. I want to see where that number's at. Where's the minus 148 at? Oh, it's Texans to make the playoffs. Yes, that is something. Let me see if I can do this real quick. If I can combine these two, this will be like my official thing I give out, but I'm assuming there's a chance I can't. Didn't think so, okay. If they allow you to do it late in the season, I am going to combine Nico Collins. I tried to combine Nico Collins with Travis Hunter as well, just because odds. Minus 140 is just a little bit too much juice for my liking, but I do like the number. If I can get the juice a little bit better, that's probably what I'm going to look for, but yeah, that's probably going to do it for today then, I think, because I don't think there's anything else I really want to jump into. Stage of elimination, I guess we'll just talk about that real quick for them, just to give a number. To make the divisional round for the Texans is plus 180. I probably think that's where they're going to lose, so that's not a horrible option there. Houston Texans to miss the playoffs plus 115, lose in wild card plus 270, lose in divisional plus 410. We don't need to go any higher than that because I don't think they're going to. If they make the, conference championship round, losing there is plus 1,000. But, yeah. So it's kind of where I'm leaning. So official Texans futures, excuse me. Nico Collins, most receiving yards, plus 800. Nico Collins, over 1150 receiving yards, minus 114. Nico Collins, over 6.5 passing touchdowns, minus 140. Joe Mixon, over 825 rushing yards. And the Texans to make the playoffs at minus 148. I like that. If I can get a better number, I will, because that is the future I want to take, but I just don't like the number at all. So my official, so let me give it out so everyone has it. Official futures for the AFC South, Part 2. So these are the official futures for both the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. I like the under 7.5 wins for the Jaguars. I like Travis Hunter 10-plus touchdowns combined at plus 700. Mainly, I like it, but I really love Travis Hunter over 4.5 touchdowns receiving at minus 124. Really, really love that number, so I might take that over the 10-plus touchdowns. Texans to make the playoffs. I like that one at minus 148. Nico Collins, most receiving yards at plus 800. Joe Mixon to have 825 rushing yards over. Love that over. Nico Collins have 1150 receiving yards. Over that is minus 114. And then Nico Collins have over 6.5 passing touchdowns, minus 140. Thank y'all for watching Thanks Report. I really do appreciate it. Next week, we got some NFC action. Immediately, I about said NFC West, so that just might be where we go to right away. I mean, we have the NFC East, the NFC North, and the NFC West, still go over. So, probably going to pick, like I said, NFC West was the first one that came to mind, but I don't know. We got 33.3% chance that that's the one I pick, but I won't lie to you. I have ideas, but I haven't fully decided yet. But, like I said, that's going to do it for this week. It's been a fun ride. Man, we're through, 3 divisions officially? 5 more to go. almost to the halfway point. Like I said, we got how many days? 50-something days to week 0. I won't lie, you 58 days to week 0. 70 days to NFL week 1. Before you know it, it will be right around the corner. And like I said, it's going to be exciting, man. Can't wait for football. I will see everyone back in this feed on Tuesday to go over, like I said, another breakdown, or I guess another preview for going into 2025. But this next week, it will be an NFC team.